Hey guys, what's going on? Abby here from Flab to Fab. So today I want to go over a basic updated tutorial on how to use MyFitnessPal when tracking your macros. Now, welcome to my phone. So we're actually on my phone right now and I'm going to show you how I use MyFitnessPal to track my macros and stay current on the foods I'm eating and just to kind of get an overall idea of what I'm eating and just kind of staying on top of it. So if you're new to macros, macros are your protein, your fat, and your carbs that make up your food. And I also like to include fiber because fiber is important for digesting and absorbing protein as well. And I mostly look at my macros plus fiber and sugar, and then I look at some of my micronutrients, which are going to be minerals and vitamins from your food. And you'll get most of your vitamins and minerals from like plants and vegetables, some protein, and a little bit of carbs as well. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do is go when you create your profile is you want to hit on my profile. You can update it there, all that kind of thing here. But the most important part really is where goals comes into play. So I kind of set this up to show you guys what my life looks like. But if you're following along with me on your phone, it's probably the best way for you to fully take advantage of what I'm going to be showing you today. So numero uno, current weight. You're going to put your current weight in, so weigh yourself, and then you're going to want to put in your goal weight. Now, in my opinion, how much you weigh is semi-irrelevant when it comes to weight loss, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think that body fat is a better measure tool-wise when it comes to progress when you're trying to lose weight, because really you're trying to lose fat. Weight encompasses your blood, your organs, your bones, fluids, fat, you name it. It's everything. It's your overall weight. But if you want to measure progress when it comes to losing fat, body fat is a better way to go. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just showing you how I track my macros. So you put in your current weight, how much you want to weigh, and how much you want to lose per week. Now, this is really important because a lot of people want to lose weight quickly, but slow and steady wins the race when it comes to losing fat. So when you're losing fat, I don't recommend trying to lose more than 1 pound of fat per week unless you have a lot to lose. Like if you have anywhere from 30 to 50 or plus pounds that you would like to lose, you can get a little bit more aggressive with your weight loss. However, I pretty much rule of thumb tell people to not go over 1 pound because you want to create a sustainable lifestyle, not one that is going to be a total 180 all of a sudden. And then you're going to want to put in your activity level as well. Now, I'm going to kind of go over my opinion on the activity level based on the calories I've seen it calculate once you put in your activity level. Not very active would be somebody who probably sits all day and doesn't work out. And if they do work out, maybe it's a walk now and again, but just not really doing a whole lot. Lightly active would be somebody that probably works 40 to 50 hours a week and works out anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week. Active would be somebody who probably sits a lot for work, but is an active person naturally. They work out maybe 5, 6, even 7 times a week. They're out and about on the weekends. They're not usually sitting a lot. And then very active would be somebody that is on their feet all day for work and is also working out and maybe has a very physically demanding job. So I put very active when I'm teaching a lot more group fitness classes, but for right now, I'm putting active, and it's better to underestimate your activity. Overestimate your activity than underestimate because, did I say that right? Let's see. It'd be better to underestimate how many calories you're going to get in your macros. So it's better to kind of err on the side of caution. I don't even know if I said that right. I think I got myself confused. Anyway, calorie and macronutrient goals is the next section you're going to want to pick. So it's this one right here, calorie and macronutrient goals. So click on that, and then it's going to calculate your calories based on how much weight you want to lose, how much you weigh now, and how active you are. So once you go to calories, you can see how much it's going to give you. Now in MyFitnessPal, it's going to automatically adjust your percentage for your carbs, protein, and fat. And from what I've seen, MyFitnessPal currently makes your carbohydrates 50%, which is literally half of what you're eating every day, and that is crazy insane. And nobody needs to be eating 50% of carbs a day unless you're like an athlete and you're trying to bulk up and gain weight or something along those lines. But if you're trying to lose fat, I don't recommend being over like 40%. So, I am lower at a 30%, and I do not follow any kind of dietary lifestyle, keto, paleo, vegan, blah, blah, blah. I don't follow any of that. I listen to my body and see what feels good. So some people call it intuitive eating. Sure, why not? So I also like to match about a gram per body weight, maybe a little bit over, because I'm usually low on protein. So if I make that protein number bigger, then it gives me something to shoot for. I don't usually hit 140 grams of protein a day. I usually go over on carbs, quite honestly. I love carbs. And then my fat is kind of whatever's left over between my carbs and my protein. So I try to stay lower on the carbohydrates. I notice that if I stay under 120 to 150, I feel pretty good. Anything over that, and I do kind of notice that I'll start like gaining weight, looking a little bit more puffy and bloated. So that's where I've found my sweet spot, and everybody's a little bit different, but as you can tell, I'm pretty moderate when it comes to my macros. So that is how you want to set up your goals. So the other thing you can do is you can also set reminders weekly on Mondays to track your food. You could do it every single day. It's kind of up to you. If you are new to tracking your macros, just try tracking your macros 2 to 3 times a week. Don't try to track every single day, because it can get super overwhelming. And if you miss a day, you might just give up altogether, because it's like an all or nothing situation. So pick 2 or 3 days a week. You're going to track your food, and it's just going to help you create awareness around what you are eating. And I always tell my clients this, you could have two people on a 1,500 calorie diet, but one person might be eating wheat thins, rice crackers, and salad, and the other person could be eating like apples, cottage cheese, chicken, rice, veggies, and they have two very different looking diets, but one person's getting better nutrition and the other one's just counting calories. So that's why I like counting macros, is it tells a lot more about the kind of food you're eating versus just the calories. So if I were to go to my homepage, it's going to take me to my diary, or I can go to my diary and I can go to today. I haven't tracked anything today, so I'm going to take you guys through a little bit of what I've already eaten so you can kind of tag along, and if you want to track your own food, you can. Now, there's a couple of cool things you can do here under this section. You can go to food, exercise, weight, water, status. Now, when it comes to entering exercise, if you are trying to lose fat, do not enter in your exercise. If you are trying to maintain, you can enter in your exercise. But if you are entering your exercise, MyFitnessPal takes that into consideration and says, hey, you've burned 300 calories. Now you can eat 300 calories. So don't enter in your exercise. Just do your food and water. I just do food. I don't even do water. I drink water all day long. It's not a problem. But if you struggle with getting in enough water, you can track that as well. So let's go to breakfast. This morning for breakfast, I had a protein shake. And also all the food under this that you see here, like that pizza crust, Korean barbecue beef, those kinds of things, that is going to be like your recent foods that you just ate, and it'll pop up. You can also scan your food as well. So if I click the little scan button in the right hand corner, then it's going to pop up with my camera and I can scan my food there. I can also search for food. Now, I love MyFitnessPal because they have a huge database of different foods, different brands, restaurants, you name it. That's awesome. So they make it super easy. So this morning I had a protein shake by Optimum Nutrition. So I'm just going to kind of look through here. There it is, whey protein, Optimum Nutrition, and I just clicked the little yes button. You can also scroll down where it says add frequently paired foods, and I actually did have 2 eggs, and I will add that in as well. So I had 2 eggs, I had a protein shake, I also had a slice of turkey bacon from Trader Joe's, because it is the bomb.com. You can also change the serving size here and the number of servings. I only had 1 slice, so I'll end it there. And then let's see, that is it for this morning. Then for lunch, I had cottage cheese, so I'll enter that in as well. And I did half a cup of that. And I also had an apple with that cottage cheese. So I type in apple and it's going to pop up, and you can pick what kind of apple you had, Gala, or in this case I had an envy apple, and if you've never had an envy apple, you've got to try it. It's so good. I also had a little bit of Greek yogurt with it too. I kind of mixed it in, and I had some of these toasted coconut clusters. see, it's going to populate a lot of the food you eat, so it makes it really easy as time goes on and you kind of get better at it. So now I can kind of see what I've eaten for the day, and I can click on the top. So if I click out of here, if you click right where it says 1610 goal food 695, click on that, and then my macros are going to pop up. It's going to show me my nutrients for the day. So already today I've had 67 grams of protein, 51 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fiber, which seems a little off because usually apples have a lot, and then 32 grams of sugar, probably from the apple and a little bit of that granola, as well as, yeah, I think that might have been it. And then I've had 27 grams of fat. If I scroll down here, I can see my iron, calcium, vitamin A, C, potassium, sodium, cholesterol, all that good stuff. Now, if we go to my macros, I can kind of see I've been pretty even throughout the day, so I can always check back on that later. So I can also click out of that. Another cool thing that you can do, let's say I'm going to add in a dinner, I can also go to My Foods, and you can create a food as well. So I have a meal prep service that I order from every single week, and I put in my meal prep service under Create a Food. You're going to put the name. So in this case, I use a meal prep service here in Orange County called Macro Box Meals, and I would type it in. I would type in what description it is. So like, let's say I did the Korean barbecue beef. Serving size is 6 ounces, container is 1. So I'll kind of go through this with you guys. Macro box meals, and then let's say Korean barbecue beef, and then I had 6 ounces of it, and then I had 1 serving of it. And then I would click next, and then I would enter in the calories. Let's say it was 492, my carbs were 20, my protein was 40, and my total fat was 15. Let's just say that. Then I would click that little yes button up in the corner, and voila. But I've already created this, so let's just say I had the Korean barbecue beef, so I could just click yes, and that's it. So you can also store your food as well. You can also go to recipes, and you can enter in you can create a recipe by adding a recipe from the web or entering the ingredients manually. So if you're creating your own recipe or you found one on your favorite blog, you could do that as well. So in this case, I did the chicken foil packets, and I could see how much those were. And then you can also go to meals, and you can create a meal as well. You can call your meal. So in this case, I created a couple meals like my low carb pancakes, number of servings 1, and I enter in all the items I use to make my pancakes, and then it calculates how much fat, carbs, and protein and how many calories are in that meal. So you can make your life a lot easier by using these tools at the top. My Foods, meals, recipes, those kinds of things are going to be time savers big time. So if you get really into this and you're tracking your macros every day, that's a really cool feature. All right, so that's pretty much it as far as what I use MyFitnessPal for. Of course, there's so many other features, but I think this pretty much covers the basics of it. If you have any questions, you can post down below. This will be on my YouTube channel, so you can just write in the comments section. And yeah, so if you guys are on Instagram, find me. I'm from Flab to Fab Fitness, or you can find me on Facebook from Flab to Fab Fitness as well. And I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys later.